I was very surprised by my celebrity. I was like, this is wrong. And I think I took it again to make sure. And you know how sometimes your archetypes can shift and change over time? Mine has always been very, very strong celebrity first, no doubt whatsoever. And even romantic and ruler, very strong top three. And then the rest are like, but it really surprised me at first because I was always told growing up that I was shy. I was shy. I was didn't make friends easily. I was just a shy girl. My mom tells stories all the time about hiding behind her leg, and they had to pay me $1 to do a cartwheel at cheerleading tryouts when I was 7, because I wouldn't do anything until they paid me $1. And so that was the story and my identity growing up forever. I was shy. And then I found teaching, and I became a teacher. And I was alive when I was teaching. I felt the energy and that flow, and I would get excited when I was teaching. And whether it was in the classroom, and then as I started my business, I started teaching, my team, and at conferences and workshops full of people, and I loved it, like that energy. So when I really started thinking about that celebrity and really learning about it through the course, I went, oh yeah, that is me. I do like to be the center of attention. I do like to be in the spotlight. I love to share with people the information that I know to help them and make them happy and excited. Like, I love to share. That's why in fact, just recently I realized, I think that's why I read so much, because I like to gather all the information so that I can share it with people and look like I'm important. So it was a huge shock and surprise to me at first, and I didn't really believe it until I really started digging into my experiences in my life and my history, and I went, oh yeah, that is me. And through the course, and I had done money boot camp first, so I had unlocked some of those money blocks. I really started doing a lot of upgrading. I upgraded my clothes. I started giving myself permission to buy from places other than discount shops, and to get like real stuff. Like, I felt like I could finally buy real things. My parents and my grandparents are all about passing things down. We don't need this anymore, so you should have it. Or you have a need for something and I have a thing, and it will be functional for you, so you should use it. No, I don't want to use it. I want to buy a new one that's pretty and matches my house. I don't care for it. In fact, I've been sort of the joke of the family almost, that, oh, don't try to give it to Heather. She doesn't want it. Because I don't want it. I want to buy my own. I want to pick it out. I want it to be perfect in the thing that I want. And I don't just want somebody's hand-me-down thing. So I've been able to, I feel like I'm me now. I feel like I can be myself, and I have permission to be myself.
So when I found out I was a celebrity, first of all, I just assumed I did something wrong on the quiz and that maybe I had answered the questions wrong, because when I read the descriptions of especially the other two archetypes, my nurturer and ruler, I was like, oh, that's me. Those are me. I was building an online business, but I was also very centered around people. I had a women's organization and retreats. And so everything was very much building things for other people, like down to building websites and being behind the camera and photographing them. And my hair was always in a ponytail. And I was like, I'm not a celebrity. That's not really like who I am. Like, I'm kind of the one behind the scenes cheering for everybody. So I was kind of confused when I first saw the different archetypes. But actually, when I started like watching the videos, and I started like going through what I wanted for my life and my business, the celebrity was there. She was just kind of hiding, and she was just not showing up. She was kind of saying like, oh, well, if you're plus size, nobody wants you to be on camera all the time. Or, oh, if you have wild and curly hair, you've got to tame it to show up, or you have to have your hair done, or you have to have makeup done. Or it was funny, Denise talking about doing her hair and makeup before showing up. I used to have that view that like, oh, well, if I'm going to be this person on social media, I have to do all those things. And I realized that over time, like, it's the personality that really is the celebrity thing. It's not all the other stuff. They all add up. But the ruler really was what I wanted when I first heard of SMA and I signed up and wanted to take the quiz. I was like, oh, I'm a ruler. I know I'm a ruler. You know, I was so excited. And then when I saw the ruler was in the top 3, I was like, I'm just going to tell everybody I'm a ruler because I really liked that one the best. But actually what's funny is over the last couple of years, I did change my business around to where the focus was a little bit more on me. And like I think it was Rebeca that said, showing the vacations and the lifestyle, like that actually was my personality very much. So now I was like, oh, well, now I don't have to hold back. And like, I can show like what we did, the upgraded swim out suite or whatever we did, and I could actually kind of own that because it really was part of like my true personality. And what's funny is I started wanting to show up more. I wanted to shine more. I wanted to buy, clothes other than black. I actually owned almost all black and gray clothes for a long time. And now like everything is color, even my nails are color all the time. So I think just finding out the results were a little shocking at first. But I think that anybody that's even considering SMA has got to know that like your archetype could be hiding. It could be hiding because of different reasons. And I was able to uncover some of the reasons why, trauma and environment and relationships and different things that caused me to kind of suppress that celebrity thing. But once I embraced her, then I really did start attracting everything that I was supposed to be doing. And I really I had like all sorts of light bulbs that went off. It was like, oh my gosh, this is why it was so hard before, because I wasn't really being me. I wasn't shining.
The celebrity one was no great surprise to me. And I was like, oh, finally, like I get to own it and just say, yeah, I like Janet said, I like really beautiful things. It's important for me to have beautiful things, and I actually am a celebrity. Like I work in the performing arts industry, I work in show business, I'm on stage, like that's my job. And there was always like the societal shames and putting people in boxes and things like that. And I thought, and it was the first time I actually came across that when it validated my experience on planet Earth as a performer, as somebody who lives in the limelight, to say, actually, people need this. This is your job. So that was really nice for me.
Finding out that I was a celebrity, I had like a 30-second shock. And then I just kind of like fell into my own body. I'm like, oh, everything makes sense now. As a 7-year-old, I remember I had some really rich cousins and I went to their house and their maid made a comment that I was really stuck up. But the thing is, I was super broke. I was a child. How could I be stuck up? So the celebrity has always been part of me, even when I didn't have money. And a lot of times growing up, I was called stuck up and they wants to have like the really nice things and I should just settle. So it was like my whole life flashed before my eyes and things started to really make sense. And instead of being ashamed and guilty about feeling the way that I felt and liking the things that I liked, even when it was out of my budget, I started really embracing it. And like the simplicity and things, and even the way that I do marketing, the language that I use around marketing has changed. And it's so interesting. Because I use celebrity words and I start attracting, more people who like that. And the funny thing was like a small change. I never felt really comfortable sharing like income, besides like my clients. But I'm a business coach. I need to share some type of ROI in order for me to get clients. So I stepped into my celebrity self and I started sharing my lifestyle. Like, it doesn't matter how much I make, but here are all the amazing things I get to do by doing what I do. And that has changed everything about it because now I share my vacations. I share, like here last year, we went for a month-long vacation as a family, which was such a dream. We went to 30 places in 30 days. This year, we're doing a 2-week vacation. I arrived yesterday from vacation. I'm going vacation again tomorrow. So I share that. I share my lifestyle and unashamed, again, owning my wants, saying, this is amazing that I get to do this. Don't you want to do this too? And when people tell me that I'm stuck up, I'm like, no, I'm just a celebrity. Get used to it. And even my parents like treating, last night I treated my dad to like a 5-star meal, it felt so good to be like in that place of like, Dad, here we go, let's just do this. This is so nice. And, to get to role model owning your wants, because I think that especially as women, we're told to just keep it down, keep it low, the humbleness. And especially as an immigrant, I had like the second best mindset, that I was always second best, right? There was always other people shining. And step into my celebrity self, no, like I get to be my own best. And this is awesome, and role model what that is for other people. So that's really special.
For me, it's more so in my personal life as well than in my business, especially the celebrity and the romantic. My husband is also an accumulator, and oh my Lanta, the struggles that we have had, because I'm like, we'll be fine. Everything is fine. We're good. And he's like, no, we're not. The world is burning down. We need everything in the bank. I'm like, we are okay. Like, it is just that night and day difference. I can't imagine two romantics. Oh, hot damn, no, thank you. Nor would I want to. Oh, but he also, I do think that he helps a little bit with balancing me out, because I do have that double whammy of the celebrity and romantic, and mine isn't canceled out. Mine is the amplified, the imposter syndrome, the putting things off, the all of that. So having him be that kind of middle ground of, okay, honey, we've been on 3 trips in 6 months. Let's take a break. And I'm like, okay, maybe you're right, but can we start planning our next trip? So at least I have that little hit of like, yeah, let's do something, because I am not a good sit still sort of person.
My other two, romantic and ruler, sometimes they contradict, but sometimes they really complement. So I love, to buy really nice clothes and really nice makeup, but I also want them to be simple and easy and efficient. And that's the ruler of me too. I want everything to be very efficient and easy, but it's got to be right and good and pretty and fun and all of the things. It's got to be what I want. So the course was eye-opening for me, and it really helped me find myself, and I feel so much better being me now.
And so that bit came as no surprise. And then the Maverick bit was great. I was like, oh, that unlocked so much for me. Like, it was, I'm such a rebel, I've been such a rebel my entire life, and that's never been that actually isn't great. I think in some areas it can hold you back. So the negative aspects of the Maverick, and then the romantic, again, like when I heard that, I think continues to be probably the most challenging aspect. And but it's also fed into my new business model, in that I actually don't like to I've realized that my romantic is coming out to play. Like, I'm not a ruler, like I'm a good leader, but when the intricacies of running the agency and the academy and actually managing other people, like, I hate it. I just don't have the capacity for it at all. Like, I'm definitely up for the other stuff. So yeah, that's it really. But it has been different, and I think my 3 changed. I definitely had celebrity and Maverick, or celebrity and romantic, but I think the Maverick was quite close to another one. I can't remember, but that changed as I went along. So, but yeah.
So my accumulator, my celebrity I was already offering white glove, because again, we're tastemakers, right? We're like trailblazers ahead of the curve a little bit with all the things. But my accumulator, because I didn't spend money that way, I bought into the life that, if you haven't paid this price, then you can't charge those prices. And I realized through SMA, like, that's not it at all. Like, my clients are not me. Actually, my clients have the opposite problems that I do. The things that come easy for me don't come easy for my clients. So they're opposite people than I do. So my accumulator was definitely in the way of not letting me charge what my celebrity self wanted to charge for the service that I was providing. And of course, my Maverick, like, oh, everybody's doing it this way. Why are you going to do it this way too? So I had like this 3 personalities fighting with me. And then in the end, the celebrity won. And a little bit of the maverick too, like, oh, but I do it this way and I'm special because of this. So it was a lot of fun.
So I actually had a huge aha moment when I really started looking at who I was attracting to my business. And I know I did a lot of done for you type services, but I really wanted to get away from the constant, you know, help me, help me, help me, I'm stuck, can you just fix it, to I'm ready to learn, what can you tell me to do? And so I actually, after so many months of like procrastinating and like watching lots of videos and trying to figure out, make sure I was doing all the right things, I launched an online course. And I was able to put all of my stuff in there, record the videos. I did the outfit changes, which is a total celebrity thing. And once I was done, it was like this huge weight had been lifted. And it was very easy. The first couple of messages I got where someone was like, oh, I you know, I was just looking at your course information and gosh, it looks like, so it's self-paced and I just do, and I'm like, yep. And it was much less of, you know, don't worry, I'm there every step of the way, which was kind of that nurture thing that I used to always do. And also the ruler thing, which was I would take money from anybody. I would say, yo, I will help anybody who's ready to do this. And now I'm very specific. It's like, if you know you're meant for more, but something's holding you back, there might be a lack of confidence or you're scared to go on camera, but you're not sure why, this is for you. And it's completely go at your own pace. You do this in your time, and it's very empowering, and I'm putting it back on them. So I feel like I'm much less like, I'm not like enabling anybody to like text me all hours of the night, you know, help me, what do I do? Instead of here's my course and walk you right through it. And so it really felt, I channeled my inner Denise. That's what I say all the time. Is I put together my own boot camp basically. And you know, that's completely tailored around my business and my expertise. And that made life a lot easier. I still struggle with the nurturer part when people reach out. There's a part of me that's always like, oh, here's my cell phone. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I gotta stay in my power.
I actually went back to look to see what my connector was, and that's my lowest. It's 15 out of everything that I have. When you said batching, I actually took some notes on that because it is the same. So on top of having my celebrity and my romantic being like my number one, I'm also a projector in human design. And so like I have these pockets of energy where I'm like, okay, yes, I can do it all. And then I'm like, no, I can't, nor do I want to, nor do I want to be around all the people to do it all. And I find that that is one of my sabotages, is when I do have those big pockets of energy, I'm not utilizing them wisely. And then when I also am either feeling imposter syndrome or I'm feeling inadequate, then I'm like, oh, let me go to Amazon. Let me just buy some stuff I don't need. And I find that I do that to make myself feel, quote unquote, something, even though I should be doing my client work or working on the stuff that I know I need to be working on, because that's how I end up with the self-sabotaging. Yeah, it just, yes, shopping is what makes me feel better too.
In terms of the celebrity, it's caused more problem, I would say, in my life, or challenges, I would say, in my personal life with my husband, who's my husband is more of an accumulator. So we kind of bump into the spending of the, you know, the household and things like that. So for example, so way before I learned about you or your existence, I had a nanny, and I also had someone to help me clean, to do some cleaning. The reason is when I had my third child, I was like, no, it's too much for me, I can't do it. So I just hired someone, and from there, it was like a bit of a fight to get that person into the house. And then it was a fight to give them a key so that they were actually part of the, yeah. So it went like that, but I kind of took over more of like my needs and went with it. So I think this is where they show up in my life, really.
It wasn't until really I got to SMA and Money Boot Camp that I started connecting these old, stories. And I realized that the reason why I didn't shine was I had that fear of outshining. That it was basically an upper limit problem. But basically, I was afraid to say, I know the answer. Or that I was better or whatever it was. I was afraid to audition for the role. I was afraid to do whatever it was because, everyone was like, oh, this Janet, she does everything or she knows everything or, whatever the thing was. And so I became shy, even though like I'm not a shy person really at all. And so it's very interesting when I learned I was celebrity status and I was kind of laughing. I was like, oh, I do remember as a kid, I used to like host talent shows like in my backyard and charge admission. And I ran little businesses out of my garage and, I'm like, it does make sense, but like, I just wonder, somewhere along the line, if I had not been asked, to stop raising my hand, maybe how soon I could have realized I was a celebrity. So I find that very interesting now, especially as a mom. I know lots of moms are starting to recognize the differences in their kiddos. I know as a mom of 5, like we pick up on the different things between the different kids. So I find it fascinating now.
If you are looking for a way to understand yourself, your business, how you operate with others, communicate, connect, this would be the place for you to be. It has helped me really understand my husband. It has helped me understand my clients, especially now. Like, I'm just really excited to use this moving forward into the new changes that I'm making in my business. So I would say, don't wait, jump in, hands first or feet first, whatever way that goes first, just jump in.
So, are you a ruler, a connector, or a maverick? Hang on, maybe you're more of a romantic or a celebrity. Take the money personality quiz right now and find out which of the 8 money archetypes you are. And then I'm going to teach you how to profit from your strengths and make money in your business based on your natural personality. Click below and find out more.